Alright guys, it's the day after the Irish vs France game, the opening game of the Six Nations. France absolutely destroying Ireland, Ireland not pitching up, some players just didn't seem like they wanted to be there. And in this video we're going to dive right into who we think should play against Italy next week and who we think they will pick against Italy next week. Obviously Italy is not an easy game nowadays, it's going to be a tough game and it's going to be a must-win game to really bounce back and get some belief back in the squad. I do think there are going to be changes, and I'll explain all of those changes in this video. So let's get right into it. I think at number one, they're going to still go for Loughman. I don't think the front row is actually bad from Ireland. I don't think they got dominated as bad as we thought they would. There were other forwards that just didn't pitch up for Ireland on the day. But I think Loughman at number one going into next week, he'll stay there. Dan Sheehan was one of the better performing forwards in the game. I don't think he got as many opportunities or as much space as he normally would. He's the kind of forward that normally thrives in open space, thrives when given the good opportunity by the playmakers or the backs inside him. I thought his line-out throws were really good for the conditions. I know it was very tough conditions and his line-out throws were still on point, so he'll stay in the side and he's a very key player going forward. Clarkson at number three. I think Clarkson's a great player. I think he will stay there as well. As I said, the front row didn't do too bad for Ireland. There were other forwards which were terrible. Now moving on to number four. This week they went for Joe McCarthy. I think next week they're going to move James Ryan to number four. I think James Ryan played himself into a starting spot. He came on, had one bit of a late tackle. I think it's legal. I think it was perfectly fine. Courtney Laws-esque, but I think James Ryan will be number four next week because he really came on and showed the selectors or showed the coaches that he wants to play, that he wants to add that extra emphasis, that extra intensity. So you have to reward guys like that. Remember, these team selections I'll be doing is just based on players that aren't performing as good as they should, maybe getting dropped, and just putting players in that actually might want to be there, playing as if they want to be there, playing a bit better, so on form. I mean, they could chop and change every week. Obviously, they could still keep the exact same team next week, but this is just who I think they should choose based on recent form and based on last night's game. So I think James Ryan at number four next week would make a lot of sense, especially with the tenacity he played with. And if Ireland want to get the ball rolling and get some quick ball, you need a guy like that to hit the rucks with accuracy, with speed, with power, to try get as quick ball as possible for the likes of a Jamison Gibson-Park or a Craig Casey. Now looking at number five, I think they'll stick with Tide I think Tide was okay. Not his best game. He didn't have a bad game. He was just all right. He tried his best, but just couldn't get much going. I don't know. He just could not get much going. But he was one guy that I thought put his hand up for a guy that looked like he wanted to be there. So I think Tide will stay in the team next week. He's a very important player, and in my opinion, he is the best forward in the Irish team right now. He is. At number six, I thought Cian Prendergast wasn't that bad. Honestly, I was actually surprised when he got taken off. I thought he did his best to try to slow down the France ball. He tried to steal a few times, but those France forwards were just everywhere. They were so aggressive. They were just ruthless. So it was difficult for him to play the game he normally can play. But I thought he was one of the better forwards, especially from the starting pack. Number seven. I think they're going to stick with Josh van der Flier. Josh van der Flier had a weird performance. Like, I don't think he played well, but I also don't think the ball bounced his way very much. Like, he just got unlucky with a lot of things. He had the one poor handling error which really stood out, and that was probably the nail in the coffin to sub him after half time. But I think he has a lot of potential. He's been playing really well recently for Leinster, so I think he can still add a lot to this team. And I don't think you can really drop him after one poor performance because he has that accolade of being one of the better players in the team, so he kind of gets a bit of grace when it comes to that. Number 8, Caelan Doris. I was not impressed by Caelan Doris last night. I thought as a leader, he could have done better. But I think he'll stay in the team. Of course, he's a British and Irish line. He's the captain of the team. And I think they're just going to try to bounce back with a very similar forward pack. The only guy I think that might lose a spot is McCarthy, just because I think James Ryan just played so much better. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, there could be a lot of things that happen. They could put Tide at number 6 and bring on the likes of a James Ryan at lock and keep McCarthy there. They could do all of those things. But I just think my front row for Italy will be Loughman, Sheehan, Clarkson, Ryan, Tide Cian Prendergast, Josh van der Flier, and Caelan Doris. Now moving on to number 9 and number 10. This is going to be, a lot of people might not like this. A lot of people might like this. I think they should stay with a 9 and 10 combination of 2 Leinster players still. I know a lot of people might not like that, especially the Munster fans. But I don't think they should stick with Sam Prendergast. Look, I think number 9 should be Jamison Gibson-Park. I thought he did well with what he was given. As a scrum half, I played scrum half back in the day. I know for a fact a scrum half cannot look good or play well if the forwards aren't getting dominant ball, if the forwards aren't cleaning with accuracy, with tenacity, with intensity. The ball comes out and it's never in a good spot. It's always slow. And it's so difficult to actually make something happen or to even look good when you play on the back foot. It's so tough. It just makes it so much more difficult. And I thought Jamison Gibson Park handled it well. He did what he could. I saw a comment saying that he maybe box kicked too much, but that was obviously the game plan. The game plan early looked like pinning France back, try get them to exit to you, try win the kick battle, and once you have that territorial win, try play from there. But Jamison Gibson Park, I think, will stay at 9. But I think number 10 will be Harry Byrne. I think he deserves a start. He's only 26 years old. He's still a young guy. And I think looking at 2027, you have to start really testing combinations. And I think if you were to play him with another Leinster scrum half, like Jamison Gibson Park, that they know each other very well from Leinster, they've been playing together for a while, keeping combinations together, in my opinion, is more important than playing probably the guy who's probably the best in that position right now, because he can still make an impact off the bench. So I do think Crowley will still be on the bench, and I think it's important to keep Craig Casey and Crowley together as a combination. Yes, Jack Crowley probably knows how to play with Jamison Gibson Park very well, but I think Harry Byrne and Gibson Park could make a good combination going into next week's game. And I think on form, Harry Byrne probably gets the nod right now. I don't think the Sam Prendergast experiment is over. I think he's a great player. He has some things to work on. Honestly, I've seen so many comments saying how terrible he was. Yes, his defense is bad. But on attack, he looked a lot more comfortable. He looked like he settled in early. Yes, he gave an intercept. But when you are behind like that and you have to force things like that are going to happen. It's going to make the players look worse. And I mean, a 9 and 10 playing on the back foot with a forward pack that just didn't show up to play against one of the best forward packs in the world, they're going to look bad. So I still think it may be a bit harsh on Sam Prendergast, but I don't think he's going to play in next week's team. I think they'll go for Harry Byrne. Remember, the World Cup is only a year away. They have to start getting combinations right. And if Harry Byrne's the guy now that maybe the guy with he's a bit more clutch at the end of the game, or he's better at just getting the team through 60 minutes on the front foot, maybe a more solid option right now. If a big centre was to run at him, he can maybe put a dominant shot in. That's probably the guy you got to go with right now. Right, number 11. Number 11, I'm sticking with Jacob Stockdale. I think, yeah, he missed a very bad tackle then, Louis Belbery. But we all don't know the full story to that. I've said before, maybe the communication on the inside was horrible. Maybe he didn't even know the guy was there on the inside and he tried to cover it as if it was a 1-for-1 or a 2-on-1. But tough to see that missed tackle. But I think once he got more sniffs of opportunities, he looked a bit better. He looked a bit dangerous. He's a guy that's got a good boot. He can play fullback if necessary. So if things were to shift around, you can move him to fullback. They've used Gibson Park on the wing a lot as well, so you can move a lot of guys around, and it adds a lot of variability and a lot of like utility backs in the team, makes it a lot better, especially if things aren't going your way or if there are injuries. But I think Jacob Stockdale deserves another opportunity. I don't think he was terrible. He missed a bad tackle, but I don't think you can put a whole performance on one moment. I don't think you can. And I thought when he actually started getting more opportunities, because the whole first half, the ball didn't go to that side of the field once, he started looking a lot better, a lot more dangerous with ball in hand. So I think he should stay in the team. I think the centres should remain the same. I think number 12 should be McCloskey. I mean, he was the top ball carrier for Ireland. He was the one guy that actually pitched up, and I probably should have given him a higher player rating in the ratings video I did. I should have given Sam Prendergast a lower one. People weren't happy with that. But I did change those ratings a little bit after watching the game. But yeah, Stuart McCloskey, I think he should be in the team next week. He's one of the guys that actually got go forward ball for Ireland. He's one of the guys that have wanted to be there. He's playing like he wants to make the jersey his. And I think a guy like that, that's just cementing his jersey in the team, you don't take a guy like that out, especially when they're in good form. Number 13, Gary Ringrose. Once he got the ball in hand, once he got some space, once the forwards actually generated some go forward ball, he looked so much better once given the opportunity. So I think Gary Ringrose should stay at number 13 alongside Stuart McCloskey. And then at number 14 and number 15, I think they should stick with O'Brien and Osborne. Yes, O'Brien did not have a good game at all, but you have to give these younger guys and the less experienced guys more game time, more opportunities, and they're going to benefit from that. Look, just chuck them in the deep end a bit. They will come out on top. They always do, especially these guys that are proven good players. I mean, Osborne, in my opinion, had actually quite a good game with what he was given. I think he was one of the top tacklers or one of the top ball carriers, and he's a fullback. I think he was one of the top ball carriers with 10 carries, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a fullback. So it just shows he was trying to be busy, he was trying to make things happen. He had a very good 50-22. And I think O'Brien and Osborne, you got to give them another chance, and then you can start maybe bringing back a Lowe or some other guys. Obviously, if Mac Hansen was healthy, I would play him. I think he's injured right now. I would play Mac Hansen at number 14 right now. Maybe put O'Brien on the bench or something like that. But the way things are right now, O'Brien at 14 and keep Osborne at 15. You got to just let them play out. You got to let them get to know each other. You got to let them know the whole team. It's a bit of an experiment right now. Remember, there's guys from Leinster, there's guys from Ulster, there's guys from all over, and they need to start gelling together because this group of backline players haven't really been the unit for the past few years. It's a bit of a scattered backline if you think guys that know how to play together. It's not the same guys you see. It's not like a Mac Hansen, a James Lowe, or Frawley, or it's none of those guys. So they need to get to learn how to play together, but the forwards also need to do their job. Now, looking at the bench, I think Ronan Kelleher actually had a good game, so I would keep him there. He's one guy that came on, he's solid. He's never really going to have a bad game, and I thought he was actually quite solid when he came on, so he deserves another cap. And I think the same goes for Milner and Beelum. They added something when they came on, so I think the bench front row should remain the same. Now, James Ryan, obviously, I put in the starting lineup, and I think just for 1 week, Joe McCarthy, I think, should get dropped. Just maybe not even as a lesson, just to give another guy an opportunity and give guys that are more hungry an opportunity right now. I think Joe McCarthy's a phenomenal player, but I think Edwin Adogbo could really benefit from playing on the bench, especially with a bench like this, which has some really good players. So I think Edwin Adogbo on the bench would be really good to see. Get him his debut, get him some big, I don't know if he's made his debut yet. If it is his debut, get him his debut off the bench alongside some other really experienced forwards like a Kelleher, a Beelum, a Jack Conan. Now, Jack Conan, on the other hand, I would still keep on the bench. I would not replace him. I wouldn't start him just because I think it's very important nowadays in international rugby to have a strong bench. And if this bench unit can come on every game and play the way they did, that can only benefit Ireland if the starting team actually pitches up. So that's why I think I would keep Kelleher, Milner, Beelum, Conan and Timoney on the bench. I wouldn't start them. A lot of people might say, oh, you need to start Timoney now. But these guys are looking comfortable off the bench. They were very comfortable with their roles. So keep them in the role where they are comfortable, where they can play at their best. And guys like Jack Conan and Timoney can really make an impact with only a few minutes of play, where they can just go 100%, where the game maybe gets a bit more open because they're both very good runners with the ball. I'd say Jack Conan's probably a guy you could put in the starting lineup in any jersey in the loose forwards and he'll be fine. But I think keeping this bench the same, especially the forwards on the bench, will be key. But I will say, I think I want Edwin Adogbo there instead of Joe McCarthy next week, just to see something, just so the coaches can see how he plays, see maybe he can get a start the game after. So you can always just see, and it's good for the coaches to actually get a look at some different players. Now, I would keep Casey at scrum off on the bench, and I would keep Crowley as well. Keep the combination together. Those guys know how to play together. And if somehow it goes bad again for the Leinster 9 and 10, or the forwards aren't doing their job, or the forwards are doing their job and the 9 and 10 look terrible, you can bring those guys on and they can add a different dynamic. Jack Crowley can also play 15. I actually thought he had quite a good little caveat from the bench last night. He played quite well. Not his best, but he is a good test match player. So I think they know what to have with Crowley. So starting him right now, you don't really get that much. You don't really learn that much. Rather play guys which you can learn a lot from. Maybe even start a Edwin Adogbo or keep James Ryan on the bench. That's fine. If you want to keep the entire bench the same, it could work because the bench worked really well for Ireland. But there's a few guys I think they should change. A few guys I think they should give an opportunity to. And that's just what I think the team should be. So going over it again, I think they should go for Loughman at 1, Sheehan at 2, Clarkson at 3, James Ryan deserves a start at 4, Tide Burn at 5, Ken Prendergast at 6, Josh van der Vlier 7, Caelan Doris 8, Gibson Park 9, Harry Byrne 10, Jacob Stockdale 11, McCloskey 12, Ringrose 13, O'Brien 14, Osborne 15. So a lot of the same guys. Give them another shot. Let them go prove themselves. Let them get that bounce back. Kelleher number 16, Milner number 17, Beelum number 18, Edwin Adogbo number 19. Give him a start. Give a start off the bench. Let him go and make an impact and try play his way into a jersey. Jack Conan number 20, Timoney 21. He was phenomenal. Keep him in a position where he is very comfortable. Keep Craig Casey and Jack Crowley on the bench at number 22 and number 23. So that's the team I think Ireland should choose for Italy. That's probably the team I think that they might go with. Guys, if you do agree, if you don't agree, let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. Not time to panic yet. It's not panic time yet for Irish fans. So I think there's still a long way to go. A year out from a World Cup. Maybe this now takes a bit of pressure off their shoulders and they can maybe just try and focus on the squad building for the World Cup. Try get some wins under their belt. It's still a quality Ireland team. They showed patches of it. Once they get that go forward ball, they look much better. Once they get accurate passes, some quick phases of play, that's how they look really dangerous. But yeah, guys, if you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.